Hi and welcome back to Finders Beepers History Seekers in the churchyard in the snow, because I just thought it looked pretty, to be fair. But I thought, you know what, I don't want to be cold either, so I've got my hoodie on that Debs has sent me. I am so happy with this. Literally, she sent it me for my birthday and I have not taken it off for about a week and a half. I've literally been hibernating in the house with this thing on, but it is so good. So thank you so much, and everybody else that sent stuff through for my birthday and just random stuff. I love it when I get pictures through, when we get presents through, obviously, and just anything, things you've made, stuff like that. I'm very aware Bear has disappeared, but he is eating snow somewhere. Bear, come here. He's coming. He actually really likes the snow. He's just there. You can only just see him. But this week we are looking at the abandoned house review for the one in Ireland. Was it Ireland or Northern Ireland? Can't actually remember if it was Ireland or Northern Ireland. I think maybe Northern Ireland. Anyway, it's the one that I'd been looking forward to. It was the star of the show for the Irish trip that I went on last time. It was absolutely wonderful. I'm currently in a most amazing house, but we may have a problem. I can't even get my words out. I'm that nervous. I don't know why. It's the whole Northern Ireland thing again, I think. But the nerves are really jangling and I'm feeling very uneasy. What else we got? Oh, look at this. The order of... Somebody's here. Doors. They're gonna find me eventually. There's nowhere to hide. Oh my god. I'm in big trouble. I'm dead. He's definitely gonna find me in a minute. Heart is pumping. Now let's talk about the thing that happened there, because that was... It didn't take away from the house, because the house was amazing, but it probably gave me less time in the house because I was so scared. So I'd been warned about this place. I'd been told it was dodgy. There's a chance if any of the local farmers saw you, they would come and they would bring their brothers and uncles and mothers and you'd have it. So I was scared. I was genuinely scared before I even got there, which is understandable. I'm not in my own country. I've got the wrong accent. Like, it's not a very good thing when you've got an English accent in Ireland and you get caught for things like that. So I was genuinely worried. So then I was sneaking round thinking, oh, we're getting away with this. We've got in. Now, I did hear a shout as I was going in the place. But there was a lot of farmers around doing things with sheep, cows, stuff like that. So I thought it's probably just that. However, I don't think it was, because then I heard the car coming, and then the next thing, bang, 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 of every door being opened and slammed shut again as he looked for me. He knew I was there, 100%. He didn't come in for any other reason. He didn't like come to bring something or to do something. All he was doing was going from room to room to room and slamming each door, like, as he went in and out of them. So he was definitely there looking for me. But how he didn't look in the only room that I was in, I do not understand. He's disappeared again. Just give me a second, because I'm worried. I'm back and he's coming. I think he's getting very overexcited with all the smells. And he's absolutely... Look at this. His face is covered in snow, absolutely covered in snow, but he's loving it. I've got to be careful, because there is dog walkers come through here. That's what I'm concerned about. When I can't see him, I'm a bit worried. But anyway, back to the story of my nightmare. I genuinely don't think I've been as scared ever. Like when me and Andy were in that toilet and the hand came round the door, I was scared. I was like petrified scared. But I had Andy there with me. This time I was on my own and I was out of the country. And I was already scared before I went in, whereas the one with Andy, I wasn't so much. So it was really, really bad. Really, really bad. And then he went away. But for an hour, about an hour afterwards, I just sort of stayed there. I edited some thumbnails. I did some thumbnails on my phone. Did a bit of editing just to pass the time. But other than that, I didn't shift. I was so scared that he was just going to be waiting at the door, stood dead still, waiting for me to come out of a room. That's what I thought would have happened, because I never heard the car drive away again. But when I went outside, it had gone. Look at this guy. It's hard not to get reflection, because we've got the doors up at the other end as well, the big glass Victorian doors. But yeah, look at him. I feel like he's looking over the whole of the downstairs, watching who's coming in the door, almost sort of protecting the place. Oh wow, first piece of furniture I've seen. Look at that. That is ridiculous. And then look at her as well. Now the tabletop doesn't seem that old, and it definitely doesn't match these chairs, but look at these chairs, and look at the carvings on this. Like a wolf or something there. That's the green man there as well. A dog. A couple of people. That's old. I reckon that's best part of 400 years old. 300 or 400 years old. That has got some real age to it. It's a shame it's been damaged in a couple of places, but you've got to think what this has been through. Look at what they're wearing. Look at the clothes they're wearing. That is extremely old. And then you've got things like berries and nuts and stuff down there, held by this guy. Look at this for a sitting room. Now, once again, there's not loads of things in here, but the way it's set out, the height of the ceilings, and then this guy on the wall. Look at him. I wonder if he was the orange order guy. He looks like he would be. Next up, the actual building itself was just unbelievable. It was in an untouched state. Now, I have got actually quite a lot of history about this place that I have found out on the internet. It used to be a museum for a start, so that's why it's so pristine. It had been kept in such a good condition. Somebody went, you know what, people could come and look round this. And that happened up until a few years ago when the previous owner died. So it's a shame, because I feel like it's now going to get ruined, because we saw as we were walking round the plastic window frames, like things like modern showers and stuff that had been put in there. So I have a horrible feeling this new guy, I don't know who he is, because apparently there's no heir. There's nobody to pass it on to. So whoever's doing it up, I don't really know. I'm not really sure. So all in all, I'm a bit worried about it, but the place was wonderful. And then you probably won't care about this. So there was a picture in there, and I said at the time, it looks like a football player called Barry Bannon that plays for Sheffield Wednesday. Now, I actually put that online, and his cousin messaged me and said, we've got relatives in Northern Ireland, and there's a good chance this person could be related to us. And I was like, wow, surely not. And he said, yeah, it looks like our great-granddad. It looks just like our great-granddad. So I was like, all right, fair enough. So then I went down with Freddie to get Freddie's one of Freddie's football shirts signed by one of the players. Where did you just come from? You went that way and came back this way. Anyway, got this football shirt signed, and Barry Bannon was there. So I started talking to him. I said, oh, did you see the picture I tagged you in? He's like, yeah. He said, is it spelt the same? And I'm like, no, it's not. Like, because people in the local area are called O'Bannon, which I think is mad. It's like, is there a connection there? He said, oh, it might not be if it's spelt differently. I said, yeah, but it could be well back. And he's like, yeah, it does look exactly like my granddad. And he was really interested. So one, I felt like amazing because I'm talking to one of my favourite players, and Freddie was there going, oh, like that as well. But there's a possibility because it looks just like him. And I'll put a picture in of the picture and him side by side, and you'll see exactly what I mean. It's crazy. But yeah, there was some amazing things in there. Upstairs, for example, how everything was laid out, it was just so good. Oh my God, look what I found. Look at this. So, at least we know he's patriotic. He's not an IRA man, which is good. Now there's somebody that watches, well, a lot of people like this. Dogs are barking. They barked last time he came. Look at this. Masonic. And that's the Orange Order. And there's all the Masonic stuff in there as well. I can't get it out. Normally I would. I'd get it all out to look at. But look. That's just like would have been wrapped up with the medals that I found when I was metal detecting. They would have been wrapped up with these, and they've obviously disintegrated, but it's very, very similar. And then you've got the Orange Order sash. Look, William III, William of Orange, like I was talking about earlier on. Oh, they're amazing, absolutely amazing. But I can't stay in this bit long because I feel like I might be in even more trouble. Next up, the Orange Order. Now, I knew about the Orange Order. I know what they are because you get them in Scotland. They march through the streets. They're a Protestant group. They basically, it goes back to William of Orange, the Orange Order. William of Orange, who came over from Holland and was the king. And basically, I think he was 1600s. Pretty sure William of Orange was in the 1600s. But basically, he continued the Henry VIII thing of the Protestant rule, Church of England and all that. And obviously in Ireland, you get a lot of Catholics and a lot of Protestants. And the Orange Order marches down the streets going, oh, feck off Catholics. And then you get the Catholics going down the streets going, feck off Protestants. So it all gets a bit messy. But I do like the tradition of it all, and I do like how it continues. But there was also some Masonic stuff in there as well. So I think a lot of these groups do link up. I think a lot of them do sort of associate with each other, even though it's not like entirely religious, the Masons. There is religious elements sort of tied into it. So it was good to see some stuff like that, especially like hidden away. I think that was it. It was hidden away in the attic, like it was not a dirty secret, but something that was like, I don't know, that's just been pushed out of the way. Like history is, people like now have gone, no, we don't want to be associated with that anymore. I don't know. Maybe it's just me that's thinking that, but I thought it was pretty cool to find it. Right, so I have got a vast amount of information. A lot of it is about the layout of the house, which we sort of know, but there's some surprising bits in there as well. So, the house, I'm going to not put the name in there, obviously, according to one source, was built by Mr. White in the early 1700s on land bought by a dowry by his wife, Mary. I don't want to say all the names, because if I do, you'll work out where it is, and this place is too special, so I don't want to. A direct descendant of Sir Marmaduke Whitchurch. What a name that is. I haven't heard of him, but I'm guessing he's pretty famous, to be fair. But another source dates the central part of the house period to be 1780 to 1790. That means it would probably been built by his grandson, and another born in 1754. So they're not really sure. Like, how do you not know when a house has been built? Bear is doing my head in. He is just, I looked a minute ago and he was in a field about half a mile that way. So I've got to watch him. I don't know why, but the snow's made him go crazy. Right, at the time, the house stood in the middle of an extensive lawn. There were some architectural features worth noting, which are still there. The 2 ground floor windows was low-silled of the type favoured by the architect William Wyatt. So it also says there was a cellar. Now, I looked for a cellar, obviously briefly, and I couldn't find any, but this is why. It says there was access by a stair from inside the house, and also probably an entrance around the side of the house, now blocked up. So that means there's somewhere in there a hidden entrance into the cellars. What is in those cellars? Imagine, that is the sort of thing, because it's been blocked up by the looks of things since the 1800s. Why? What's in there? That gets me so excited. That would make me want to go back just to see if I could get in. I don't think I'd be able to, if I'm being totally honest, because it was like, I couldn't see a door, and I did search to see if I could find a door, because you'd think it was split into 4 different cellars. So guess basically it's one big cellar split into 4 rooms. So subsequent additions were made by Nicholas Charles, who succeeded to the estate in 1814, round about the Battle of Waterloo. A porch was added, the front door to provide an airlock so the wind would not blow directly through the house. So obviously he's got hold of it, thought, oh, it's a bit old, a bit rickety, a bit shaky around the edges. Let's do it up a little bit, make it a little bit homely. And it was such a nice building inside. And you can see the main structure. I will put some photos on, but the main structure, you can see the original bit is in the middle, and then they've added sort of the wing bits on afterwards. But such a good house, really was. Anyway, I'm going to try and find a few more bits and then I'll come back to you. Right, so in 1826, I don't know what all the building noise is, by the way. I do apologise. I'm supposed to come to a nice peaceful place and they're doing some sort of work over there, which is typical, in the bloody snow as well. In 1826, a wing with 3 bay windows upstairs and downstairs were added to the northwest side. It got a great drawing room downstairs and a huge bedroom upstairs with windows from floor to ceiling. The upstairs room was subsequently divided into a big bedroom to the front and smaller bedrooms. So one big room split into 2. A lot of the Victorian sort of houses did that. My house has now got a bathroom and a tiny box room. It used to be 1 bedroom and the toilet used to be outside. A lot of sort of Victorian houses did that. Nicholas Charles died in 1844 and was succeeded by Joseph, who extended the house even further to cater for his family of 13 children. Jesus Christ, can you imagine them all running around? Now, it was a big house, but imagine 13 children running around in that place and 2 adults and probably a couple of dogs. It would be chaos. It would be absolute chaos, but I love it. The Victorian age, when it comes to kids and things like that, like the poor people had millions of kids, so they ended up having 2 or 3 after all the other ones had died. But the rich people just kept popping them out. Like the Protestants, not as much, because they were allowed to use protection of some sort. The Catholics, just child after child after child, no condoms or anything for them. So yeah, it is quite good to see the big families. But nowadays, families are getting smaller, maybe 2, 3, 4 kids maximum, and 4 is a lot these days. And you've got to think, populations are going to dwindle. The reach of our families, so like our family trees, are going to get smaller and smaller. It is so weird to think like that. Like, we're talking about overpopulating, but are we now? Is it going back the other way? I often think about things like this. Sorry, mine went off on a tangent. In 1870, a new kitchen with scullery, pantry and storeroom was added behind the office, and above it were more bedrooms, a nursery wing and a bathroom. A spiral staircase led up from the kitchen to the back of the house. Well, we didn't see that. We definitely didn't see a spiral staircase. By the stage of the roof was getting very complicated with additions in different directions, and by the 1970s, when John Henry White succeeded, so it's gone back to the original family that built it. It was also very leaky, so it was decided that in 1978 to demolish the kitchen wing at the back. So that's why the spiral staircase isn't there, because they knocked it down. So that kind of makes sense. And then modern things like central heating, carpets, bathrooms, 2 separate units within the house to make it more self-sufficient. So it was brought into the modern era in the 70s, which is the worst time to be adding things in. And finally, in 2011, the main kitchen was remodernised, and that's exactly how you see it today. So nothing really has changed since 2010, which is only like, 13 years ago. However, it's pretty much, it's evolved, but it's stayed the same as it was over the years, and it looks, and that's why I love it. That is why I love it. Not too much has been done to it. Like, I've been to so many places where amazing old buildings have had like 1970s and 80s, like I can't think of the word, do-ups, the renovations, whatever, and they've just been ruined, absolutely ruined, and this one hadn't. Now, there is a load of stuff about the courtyard on there as well. I'm not going to go through it. That's the stuff behind, so that's where the farmer lives and where all the other bits are. What I will say is, the woman that was in charge of it that has now died, she died in 2012, I think it was, something like that. She put in to get it saved and like have a grant and be made like a listed building and looked after by the government and things like that. And they denied it. They turned around and said, no, we're not giving you the money. And that's why then it stopped being a museum. It stopped like having the funding that it needed. It's a shame. It's such a shame, because it's such a wonderful building, and I can just see now the decline of the place, which is terrible, absolutely terrible, when it's been there since the 1700s and looks like you could walk straight back in there and it would still be the 1700s. It's mad. Anyway, I absolutely loved this explore. It was one of my favourites I've done this year, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it as well. I am going to try and do a few more of these videos. They do take a long time to edit, so that's why you don't get them quite as regular as I should. However, over the Christmas period, like December and stuff, back end of November, I'm going to try and get as many videos out as I can for you. So hopefully you're going to get a lot of content. A lot of people will be like, oh, it's too much, it's overkill. But it's free content. You don't have to watch it. If you want to watch it, watch it. But it gives you something to do over Christmas. I know there's always those days, like you rush around before Christmas, and then there's that period between Christmas and New Year and there's nothing to do. You've got loads of content to watch. So please subscribe. I've just hit 65,000 subscribers. I need to hit 100,000. So please subscribe and watch all the videos. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.